Hello everybody, I am Joel from Silver Arrow Cars, and I am here with one of my favorite cars. I think it's both mine and Tim's favorite car, or favorite model, whatever you want to call it. This is our 1996 Porsche 911 Turbo, or 993 Turbo. This is a 1996 model year, so it's an early production car. This is finished in beautiful polar silver metallic over gray classic leather, smooth leather. And there is a lot of reasons why we love these cars. Additionally, on top of that, this is probably one of the most sought after 911s. This is the end of the air-cooled era for Porsche. So the 993 generation is the end of the air-cooled generation Porsche. This was also the first 911 Turbo to use all-wheel drive. This was also the first 911 Turbo to have a 6-speed manual transmission. This was also the first 911 Turbo to have twin turbos as opposed to a single turbo. The K16 turbos used on these cars. But beyond all of that, and probably one of the reasons we love these cars so much are the lines specifically of the car, while still really reminiscent of the generations it replaced in the classic 930 Turbo, which you can see behind us, and even the earlier, any of the earlier Porsche product, even from the 60s and the early 70s, before they went to that more G-body or impact bumper style car. A lot of the lines are still very reminiscent, both your headlights and your fenders, the rear haunches, everything. The spoiler on these cars is probably one of my favorite pieces. The whole rear end of the car, both from those flowing wide rear haunches or rear fenders, and then this flowing functional spoiler in the rear. Everything about these cars, they're just perfect. They drive incredibly. They're very driver friendly. This is not a sharp, tricky to learn car. The transmission is silky smooth. The clutch is an assisted clutch, hydraulic clutch, very easy to drive. Again, all-wheel drive. So if you're in inclement weather, it is a great car to have underneath you. The interior is classic Porsche, analog gauges everywhere, simplicity. You don't have a lot of switches or buttons, but everything has a really nice tactile feel to it. So some of your switches on the dash are pull and twist, and then those beautiful round gauges right across the front. Has everything that you want. It has keyless entry, it has power windows, it has cruise control, it has air conditioning, it has a sunroof, power mirrors. It has all the power options or convenience options, I think, that we still appreciate in cars today, without any of the white noise or without all the accoutrements that came on top of that. So it's a sweet spot as far as Porsche is concerned in my eyes. And even though it drives as an analog car or air-cooled car, it's still refined enough that you could daily drive one of these easily and not be uncomfortable or annoyed. Not to say that I would be annoyed to drive a 930 Turbo every day, but I think you get the gist of where I'm going with that. This car comes to us from a great collector that has a stable full of probably a large part of all the icons from European manufacturers. A great client. He's had the car for a short period of time and is moving on to a couple new cars, and this is one of the cars that we asked if we could pull from him. He has all the iconic manual transmission cars, 300 SL Gullwings and Roadsters and Pagodas, manual Ferrari cars. He's had a lot of cars in his life, and this was definitely right up there as one of his most enjoyable drives, his words anyway. And so the car comes to us. It has a great history. It's got extremely low mileage. This car came through Florida originally, and then through Connecticut and a couple other states. Incredible condition, both across paint, interior, underside, and mechanically. So the car has a binder that comes along with the car. This has a lot of its service history going back many years, previous owners' names. That has, most importantly, two big invoices that are notable. One from 2015, and about 2,000 miles ago, the car had an engine out, major service and reseal. And then again, under our clients or the previous owner's ownership, he then had the turbos removed and rebuilt, which is a pretty common thing that a lot of people defer and don't do on these cars, which ends up leading to smoking out of the rear. He had that completed at a very well-known shop called Wisak in Vancouver. Car comes with its original manuals, its original service book, with its tourist delivery stamp in it, which is very interesting. Very cool that someone in 1995, actually, he took delivery in September, I believe, or she took delivery of it in Europe, and then the car came back over here. Judging by the Carfax, not a lot of mileage was put on over there, but nevertheless, it is there in those original books. So all those manuals are complete with both of its key fobs and keys that come along with the car. Also has its tools and its jack and its space saver spare under the hood up front. Interesting options on this car. The Polar Silver Metallic is certainly one of the iconic colors for 993 turbos. Probably one of our favorite. That noise is one of the best things about these cars. It's like ringing a bell every time you shut the door. The classic gray leather in smooth finish is certainly gorgeous. I think it's a nice complement to the Polar Silver. It's also nice to have a light interior rather than black on these cars, both for if you're out on the beautiful days, which is usually when these are driven, your leather and your interior is not absolutely baking. It is a full leather interior, which is interesting. So your upper dash, your center tunnel, door panels, those are all leather. It's also got the aluminum shift knob and park brake handle. It also has a very interesting option that you'll see when we go through the interior, but it has a factory, we've seen this in one other car, but it is a factory Porsche Alpine radio, so a premium audio system or a hi-fi audio system. Rear wiper, which is very cool. Not all these had the rear wiper. That is very reminiscent of earlier Porsche. So that is nice to see on the car. But overall, just a really, really, really nice and low mileage. So today we are at 33,585 miles. This is an American car. And the entire car, all the painted surfaces are all exquisite. So now I am going to walk you around the car. I'm going to show you and talk about its condition around the front and then around both sides and then the back. There is not going to be a lot to point out. The car is exceptional across the entire thing. It is a very, very nice car. So let's start up front. I think it is obvious that the front bumper was painted. I can see that there's just a small little fisheye here in the bumper. And there's no holes in the front bumper, which usually is an indicator to me that the car, usually the bumpers get repainted. We will do that often if we get a car that's had license plates mounted to the front, which is quite ugly, but in states and provinces, some require that. So the finish of the bumper is exceptional. There's no chips that I need to point out to anybody. Moving along down the lower part of the bumper, all of that is in fantastic condition, just as much as the top of the bumper. The lenses on the front driving lights and the side markers, those are in great condition. They show a little bit of wear and some road abrasion to them, but very, very minor, and you're gonna have to get up very close to see that. I'm being pretty picky here. Moving up to the headlights. Headlights are in great shape. Same thing. You'll see a little bit of pitting to the lenses. We have not replaced those. There's a very good chance that these are the original lenses. Both are in similar condition. Fenders in and around the headlights on both sides, those are in fantastic shape. I've got no chips. I've got nothing that I need to point out here on either side. Moving into the hood. Same thing, hood in and around the emblem. The emblem is in fantastic condition, but nothing down along that lower front lip of the hood. And then I will say same goes for right up the hood. Same goes for the cowl, same goes for the glass. Very, very clear glass. Really no pitting to point out there. Small chip that's been touched up right above the windshield on the passenger side. The window seal, very rubbery still indeed. It's not dried out or cracking. Same with the seals that go around the lenses on the headlights. Same with these little miniature bumperettes on the front of the bumper. And then we're continuing along this side of the car, and it's pretty much the same thing. Beautiful condition, no marks or blemishes. Paint is extremely smooth, extremely glossy. Looking at the wheels and tires, the tires, I believe, have 2,000 miles on them. The car has been in climate controlled storage ever since they were installed in 2015. So they're 2015 date code. All the wheels are in very, very good condition. Same thing with the door, mirror caps, small chip has been touched up on the outer top edge. Along the front of it, very, very good condition. Same thing with rockers all the way along. The shark fins, as most people call them, these are newer. I believe the client had these replaced as it had older yellowed ones on it previously, so these are in really good condition, nice and clear, not really showing any yellowing or discoloration between both the fender and the surfaces covered with the shark fin here. Factory glass all the way around, right from the front through the sides. And then the theme continues. Same thing along this quarter panel, beautiful, silky smooth, very glossy. Same into the bumper, small little nick right here on the rear corner of the car, very, very small. That is something to note. But then when you come back around the car, bumperettes, the plastics in the bumperettes, the lenses, both your corners and your center, very, very clear. I would imagine we polished these, but in exceptional condition. There isn't a lot of oxidization to them. There's no cracks, really good condition. Same thing with the engine cover. Tiny little scratch right on the edge, maybe above the T on the wing. Quite hard to notice, but there it is. Coming around to the passenger side, not to sound too repetitive, but the theme continues. Paint is in beautiful condition. Same thing, shark fin is newer on this side. Just gorgeous. Rocker panel, same thing. Door, same thing. Even in and around the handle. Nothing better than that sound. Mirror caps, same thing, and passenger fender, same thing. So talking about the roof, just that small chip right here on the passenger side, and then glossy, beautiful paint throughout the rest of the roof. The LED bar for the rear brake light, we replaced. It had an LED burnt out, so we've replaced that here in the rear. The interior is equal to the exterior of the car. As we said in the intro there, full leather interior in classic gray, hi-fi sound, electric seats, and so on. Condition-wise though, starting say with the driver's seat, which is what everybody wants to know, and probably what we all look at right off the bat. The bolsters are in extremely good condition, just a slight bit of wear on the outer edge, but the rest of the seat, both minimal wrinkling and no discoloration, really great support still in the cushioning, all the rest. The driver's seat is in fantastic shape. Same goes for the doors, the leather on the doors, the springs for the map pockets on the door. Everything is as you would expect and as it should be. You'll look at the door jambs and how clean they are throughout the door jamb. Everything is extremely, extremely nice and tidy. Such a great example. Folding down the rear seat, the turbo emblems in the that are embroidered into the seat backs or the backrests for the rear seats. Tidy, tidy, tidy. All the gauges and the top of the dash, there's no warping or shrinkage or damage to the dash top, which, you know, any car person knows that's something to look for. There is nothing to point out there. All the switches, the vents, the glass in the gauges, the steering wheel, it's the leather wrapped steering wheel itself. There's no nicks that you're gonna run your hand over. All of the stenciling on all the stalks and the buttons are all exceptional. Air conditioning blows cold. Yeah, obviously I'm very repetitive at this point. The overhead lights work no problem. Just an extremely, extremely nice 993 turbo. I love this car. So with that said, I will pop the front hood and we'll pull the engine cover, and then we'll just scan across the back with these 993 turbos, or turbos, well, not some of the 930s, but intercooler and cooling system, not water cooled, sits on top and hides a lot, but what you can do is you can look past it, you can look in and around, and you can see the same thing. Fitting, CAD plating is all exceptional. No signs of corrosion on bolts, nuts, clamps, anything. Very, very tidy. All of your factory stickers are present on the, what I guess would be the cross member across the back here, and everything is super tidy. Underneath the hood in the front, you'll see the underhood factory options decal that is underneath. So you can have a look at that. We'll show that on camera. And then if we unscrew or untwist these clips and lift up the cover, this is where we'll find the tool roll and the jack with handle. In fact, I might pull the entire carpet out so the camera can get in here. This is where you'll see your factory stickers showing your paint code, and that in fact it is Polar Silver Metallic. So I'm gonna do that right now, actually. This is mostly Velcroed in, except for some buttons here at the top. These are really easy to remove. Just extremely, extremely tidy. The camera will scan through here and show you how beautiful and clean this is. So we will leave it there. So to recap, this is a US born, well, born in Germany, but a US delivery or a US spec 1996 Porsche 911 Turbo, finished in polar silver metallic over its original gray leather. The car has been extremely well serviced over the years. Does come with a binder and paper records showing all of its service history. 2,000 miles ago in 2015, it had an engine reseal and an engine out major service, and then again in 2022, our client had the turbos removed and rebuilt and resealed essentially, and then the car was serviced again obviously at that time when that was done. Exceptional car, stamped with its original books as a tourist delivery car, and then it came to the United States where it lived a lot of its life and then came to Canada. The car is now sitting back in its original country of the United States. So it's sitting in our warehouse in Blaine, Washington. It is sitting on a US title, signed off, ready to go for whoever it is that wants to take this car home. If someone in Canada is bidding on it, we can return it to Canada. That is not a problem. But just an exceptional example with very low mileage, 33,800, I believe I said we're at. Miles, doesn't really get much better than this. Beautiful, and in my opinion, one of the best colors for a 993 Turbo. Sitting as it would have when it was new, still normal factory North American ride height, and in just a phenomenal spec. If I had the choice, I would probably add some roof wheels and maybe lower it to European ride height, but that is your choice as hopefully the new buyer. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us. We are Silver Arrow Cars. I am Joel Friesen. You can find us on the internet, give us a call, use the contact seller button, whatever it is you would like to do, we can help. And hopefully this is destined for your garage.